Signs she wants you more than she admits. There is something interesting that happens when a woman genuinely likes a man. She doesn't always announce it. She doesn't always make it obvious. And sometimes she won't even admit it to herself right away. Because attraction is rarely as straightforward as movies make it seem. In real life, people often reveal their feelings in subtle ways. Small behaviors, small changes, small patterns that don't seem important on their own. But when they happen repeatedly, they begin to tell a story. And many men completely miss these signs. Why? Because they are looking for huge signals. They expect dramatic confessions, clear declarations, obvious answers. But attraction often reveals itself quietly before it ever becomes obvious. Now, before we continue, let's make something clear. This video is not about assuming every woman secretly likes you. That mindset creates unnecessary confusion. People can be friendly without being attracted. People can be kind without romantic interest. The key is patterns. One sign by itself means very little. Several signs consistently happening over time can mean a lot. So let's talk about the signs she may want you more than she admits. Number 1. She remembers small details that most people forget. This is one of the biggest signs. Human beings naturally pay attention to things they value. Think about it. You casually mention your favorite food. Weeks later, she remembers it. You mention an important event coming up. She asks about it later. You tell a random story. She brings it up again days later. These may seem like tiny things, but attention is a form of investment. People remember details when they are mentally engaged, because attraction often begins long before words ever say it. It begins with attention, and attention creates memory. Now, this doesn't mean every person who remembers something likes you romantically. But when this behavior becomes frequent and consistent, pay attention, because it usually means you occupy more space in her mind than she openly shows. Number 2. She finds reasons to keep conversations going. Watch for this carefully. Attraction often looks like extension. She could end the conversation, but she doesn't. She asks another question. She sends another message. She finds another topic. She reacts to something unnecessary. She continues engaging even when the conversation could have naturally ended. Why? Because people generally don't want enjoyable interactions to stop. When someone genuinely likes your presence, they often create small reasons to continue the connection. Sometimes it is obvious. Sometimes it is incredibly subtle. But the pattern stays the same. The interaction continues because she wants it to continue. Number 3. She becomes curious about your life. This is a huge sign that many men overlook. She starts asking deeper questions. Not just surface-level questions. Questions about your goals, your opinions, your plans, your habits, your experiences. Because attraction often creates curiosity. When people are emotionally interested, they naturally want to know more. Not because they have to, but because they genuinely enjoy learning about you. And curiosity is often one of the earliest forms of emotional investment. Number 4. She notices changes that other people don't notice. This one is subtle. Maybe you got a haircut. Maybe you change your style. Maybe your mood feels different. Maybe your energy is different. And somehow she notices. This matters because people pay attention to what matters to them. The more emotionally invested someone becomes, the more observant they naturally become. Not because they're trying to study you, but because their attention is naturally drawn toward you. Number 5. She finds excuses to reach out. This is one of the clearest signs. She sends random messages. She shares funny videos. She reacts to your stories. She checks in. She creates small opportunities to interact. Notice something important here. The reason often doesn't matter. The effort does. Because people who want connection usually create opportunities for connection. Not every day, not perfectly, but consistently enough that you notice the pattern. Number 6. she becomes slightly different around you. This happens more often than people realize. Her energy changes. Maybe she becomes more playful. Maybe she becomes slightly nervous. Maybe she laughs more. Maybe she becomes more expressive. Everyone is different, but attraction often changes behavior because emotions create energy shifts, and those energy shifts become visible over time. Again, don't focus on one isolated moment. Focus on repeated patterns. Patterns tell the story. Number 7, she makes time for you. This may be the biggest sign of all. People are busy. Everyone has responsibilities. Everyone has things happening in their lives. But priorities often reveal themselves through time. When someone genuinely values a connection, they usually create opportunities to maintain it. Not because they are forced to, because they want to. And wanting to is very different from simply being available. That difference matters. Why men often miss these signs? Because they overcomplicate attraction. They analyze every message, every emoji, every delay, every interaction, and they end up confusing themselves. Meanwhile, attraction often reveals itself through very simple patterns. Attention, curiosity, consistency, investment, time. Those things matter more than complicated theories. The biggest mistake men make is that the moment they start seeing these signs, they immediately become impatient. They rush everything. They rush the conversation. They rush the emotions. They rush the outcome. And sometimes they end up ruining something that was naturally developing. This usually happens because excitement takes over. You finally notice she is showing interest. You notice she is investing more. You notice she is becoming more consistent. And suddenly, your brain jumps 10 steps ahead. You start thinking, she definitely likes me. This is going somewhere. Now, I have to make something happen. And this is where unnecessary pressure begins. Because attraction usually grows best when both people have room to breathe. The problem is that many men become outcome-focused. Every conversation suddenly becomes a test. Every interaction suddenly becomes an opportunity to secure a relationship. And that pressure can completely change your energy. You become overly available. You start overthinking every message. You become anxious when she takes longer to reply. You become disappointed when she is busy. And before you realize it, you are no longer enjoying the connection. You are trying to control it. The irony is that trying too hard often creates the opposite result. Because attraction is not something you force. It is something that develops over time. And one of the most attractive qualities a person can have is emotional stability. The ability to let things grow naturally without constantly needing reassurance. That does not mean becoming cold. That does not mean pretending not to care. It simply means allowing the connection to develop at a healthy pace. Number 8, she starts including you in her future conversations. This is a sign many men completely overlook. Listen carefully to how she talks. People naturally include the people they care about in future thoughts. Maybe she says, "We should try that restaurant someday. You would enjoy that place. You should come with me next time. That reminds me of you." At first, these seem like harmless comments, but they are actually important because they show she is mentally placing you into future experiences. That means you're no longer just someone she talks to today. You are becoming someone she imagines being around tomorrow. And future thinking is a powerful sign of emotional investment because people do not naturally imagine futures with people they have no interest in keeping around. Number 9, she becomes happy when you succeed. This one is huge. Pay attention to how she reacts when good things happen to you. Do her reactions feel genuine? Does she celebrate your wins? Does she encourage your goals? Does she support your progress? People who genuinely like someone often become emotionally invested in that person's growth. Your success becomes exciting to them. Your happiness becomes important to them. Your progress becomes something they enjoy seeing. And that type of support is often overlooked because it doesn't look dramatic. But real attraction is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's simply someone becoming happy when good things happen in your life. Number 10. She looks for reasons to stay connected. This may be one of the strongest signs. Even when life becomes busy, she doesn't completely disappear. Even when conversations slow down, she eventually reconnects. Even when things become quiet, she finds small ways to stay present. Why? Because people protect things they value. This doesn't mean constant communication every single day. Healthy people have lives outside of relationships. But consistency over time matters, because effort reveals interest. And when someone truly values your presence, they usually find ways to maintain the connection. Why you should never rely on just one sign. This is extremely important. One sign by itself means almost nothing. A friendly person may remember details. A kind person may check on you. A social person may talk often. That doesn't automatically mean attraction. This is why patterns matter so much. The more signs that consistently appear together, the stronger the picture becomes. Never build an entire fantasy around one interaction. Look at repeated behaviors. Look at consistency. Look at investment over time. Because attraction is rarely one big moment. It is usually many small moments that slowly build on each other. If there is one thing to remember from this video, it is this. When a woman wants you more than she admits, she usually won't announce it immediately. She will reveal it through her actions first, through her attention, through her curiosity, through her consistency, through her effort, and through the small ways she slowly makes you part of her world. The biggest mistake men make is believing attraction has to be loud to be real. Sometimes the strongest interest is actually very quiet. It grows naturally. It becomes visible over time, and it shows itself through repeated patterns, not dramatic gestures. So stop obsessing over every text message. Stop searching for one magical sign, and start paying attention to the bigger picture. Because people often tell you exactly how they feel without ever saying the words out loud. Click the subscribe button, like, share, and follow for more.